Oh,
model?
yeah.
Because
You're going to
my
be doing OSI model, obviously, next week.
okay, because
Yeah.
my question is gonna lie on access points and router. Because most of the times it looks like most router do the work of access points.
They do.
There are confusion in it. So I'm asking for a friend though.
So they do because that's where it depends on the type of router you have, right? If you have a home deployed router, the home deployed router will serve as a router. It will serve as an access point. It will do the two function, right? I'll give you an example with my home design right here. Here I have my ISP that gives me modem, and then the ISP also gives the router, and the router serves as both the router and you also have the access point feature. So it serves as a router, it serves as a switch, it serves as an access point as well. But because I want to control my network, I want to be able to deploy my network the way I want. I went into the router they provided me. I turned off the router capability of that device. I also turn off the switching capability of that device. So that device is only serving as my access point. I have another device, a firewall, that serves as my router. So if I didn't have that control, I don't have that deployment, any for anybody that doesn't have that knowledge, they will just use the device provided by their ISP, connect it to your modem, and you have both your router, you have both your access points. So it will serve both purposes depending on the device. But in production environments, of course, that will not work because they want to make sure that every device is dedicated to a specific job function so that they can be able to do the work well. So a router can serve as both your DHCP, sorry, what did I say DHCP right now? It can serve as your access point, it can serve as your router as well, but it's for small home network that is not deployed in production. I mean, in a office production. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It does.
Okay.
So someone said something about direct host configuration protocol. That was why you said DSCP.
Oh, okay. I think I saw something like that in the chat. That's where it
Yes,
carried me
yes,
to
yes.
DHCP.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Any other question before we proceed with the topic of the day? Okay, so here we are on day 2 of our cybersecurity fundamentals. Last week we talked about the core principles. I'm recording, right? Yes. We talked about the core principle of security. Talked about the cybersecurity principle. We talked about what else did we talk about? Talk about controls, security controls. So today we are going to be topping it up with cryptography. Now, when we say cryptography, 80% of people will think cryptocurrency. So even though it is a part of cryptography, but we are not doing cryptocurrency. We are doing cryptography as it applies to security, not as it coming as a business. So today we are going to be looking at what is cryptography, how does it affect us, how do we use it, and what it is used for. If you have any question, feel free to interrupt and ask your question, or you can write it down. When it's time for question, you ask. Any of them that works for you, it's okay with me. Sorry. All right. So when we talk about cryptography, what does this mean? This is the art of hiding or coding data to ensure only intended users can access, read, or process the data. If you remember, the core function of cybersecurity is to make sure that we protect our data infrastructure and devices from unauthorized access. So cryptography becomes one of the ways that we actually achieve the aim of cybersecurity. Now, how do we use cryptography? We can use it to confirm confidentiality. We can use it for integrity. We can use it for authentication. We can use it for non-repudiation. We talked about all these concepts in our last class. What is confidentiality, integrity, authentication, and we talked about non-repudiation. And these have different implementation, and cryptography is one of the ways we can actually achieve any of these concepts. So what do we implement it, or in what area do we implement cryptography in cybersecurity? In encryption, all of us know what is encryption. We do it in decryption. We have it for hashing. We have it for digital signatures. We have it for digital certificates. Encryption and decryption are ways that we confirm, or ways we confirm confidentiality. Hashing is a way we confirm integrity. Digital certificate is a way we confirm non-repudiation, and digital certificate is where we confirm authentication, or one of the ways we confirm authentication. So that is why all this implementation, we will use them to meet up or implement the features that we have in cybersecurity to enable us to keep our environment protected from unauthorized access. Now, let's talk about encryption. When you hear encryption, what is it? Converting of a readable data into an unreadable or scrambled data, so that only the person that have the key or have the requirement will be able to unscramble it and be able to read it. I want to believe all of us, if you hear encryption, just know that is converting what is readable between us, meaning something that is English-like words, because that is what we read. Something that is English-like words, we convert it into a scrambled words that cannot be read by physical eyes using an algorithm and a secret key. So that is encryption. They were talking about decryption. Decryption is a reverse engineering of encryption. That way, so meaning encryption can be reverted back to the original form by doing a decryption. If I convert a data into unreadable format, which we call a ciphertext, you can do a reverse engineering on the same data to convert it back to a plain text, as long as you have the requirement for you to do that. So encryption will convert it from a plain text to a ciphertext. Decryption will reverse it back from a ciphertext to a plain text using the same algorithm and whatever secret key that was used in the original process. Now, if you look at the diagram we have here, this is the encryption process, right? You have the plain text, which is the original file you want to encrypt. You have the key and the algorithm. The algorithm is, just know that the algorithm is like the internal utility or feature that performs the entire work. Then it will convert it into a ciphertext, which is the unreadable format that when you open it, it becomes unreadable. You can't do anything with it. So when you get the file in the decryption process, you start with the ciphertext, which is the one that has been scrambled. And then you use the same key and the algorithm that was used in the encryption to do the process, a reverse engineering, to come back to the plain text. So in encryption, you start with a plain text. In decryption, you start with the ciphertext. Ask your questions. Ask your questions, please. When I say ask your question, I'm talking to the people on Zoom. Ask your questions.
Sorry. Can you go over the repudiation and digital certificates as well as the signatures? I'm a little bit lost.
You want to go over the slide, or you want me to explain what they mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Can you like just go over that repudiation and the difference between digital signatures and certificates again?
I
I'm a
guess you
little
missed
bit.
it. You missed the first class, didn't you?
I wasn't here. I just joined for this second
Okay,
weekend. Yeah.
sure. So non-repudiation is one of the core principles of security. And non-repudiation, what it means is that it is a process that gives us assurance that the person that performed an action cannot come back in the future and say they did not do that again. So it's a way that you hold somebody accountable for their action. That's non-repudiation. And one of the ways we ensure the non-repudiation is by using digital signatures. So when you sign a file with a digital signature, you will not come back and say you did not do it, because you are the only person that has the requirement to sign that file using your digital signature. Nobody else does. So when you do that, you are appending your signature on that file. So you will not come back tomorrow and say you did not sign it anymore. So non-repudiation is how we ensure that a participating body does not come back in the future to deny that they did not participate in an action or they were not involved in that action. So that is non-repudiation. Digital signature is how we use it, is what we use to implement non-repudiation. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
Any other confusion? I should go ahead. Okay, silent is consent. All right, so we've talked about this. Let's proceed. Now,
So,
let's go ahead. You have a question?
yes, but I think you eventually got it. But then I don't want I don't want to forget about it.
Okay.
So in this plain text, in this plain text, is there kind of an attack of this plain text?
Plain text is just the normal file that you have. Any file that you have right now is in plain text. Plain text means something you can read. So
Yes.
if you want to protect that thing against not an attack or against unauthorized access, even if it's an attack, even if there is a breach, right? And then your plain text, the breach got your plain text, they will be able to read whatever is in the document. But if the file is in a ciphertext, which is encrypted, if those people that breached it or have the data do not have the decrypting requirement, they won't be able to decrypt it. So they will only have a scrambled data with them that is not readable to them, even if there's an attack. So
So
go ahead.
what you're saying now is just like we have something like man in the middle attack or something like that. I was trying to understand if there was something like that kind of a plain text attack as well.
No, plain text is just any data that is readable. That's a plain text. Is any data that is readable. That's a plain text.
Okay.
An attack can come on it. That is the data we're trying to protect.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, I think someone was asking about digital certificate. So digital certificate, I don't think we are getting to digital certificate in this fundamental. We are going to talk digital certificate more for those that will go into network security. But I'm just going to touch about it a little here. Digital certificate is a way that we perform authentication. Is one of the ways authentication can be performed actually, except from your password, your PIN, your MFS and all that. Digital certificate is also one way that will provide authentication, especially for a device, because the device will have what we call a digital certificate, just like the certificates that they issue you when you maybe graduate from school or pass an exam. You get a certificate. The certificate authenticates that it was you that sat for that exam and the certificate belongs to you. That's the same thing the digital certificate does for us. It proves the authenticity or the identity of whoever is presenting it, especially devices. That's why we have different kind of certificates. We talk about client certificate, we talk about a server certificate, we talk about root certificates and all that. So certificate is the way we provide authentication in cybersecurity or in network security, depending on how, if it is set up. It's one of the ways, because we have many ways that we can do authentication. So digital certificate is one of the ways we do authentication and validate a server. Again, we're not going to be talking about digital certificate in these fundamental classes. We are going to talk about it in network security for those that will go for network security. So, all right, let's proceed. Now, let's look at a very simple encryption process or encryption example, right? This is what I have right here. Now, let me say I have a user here. This user is trying to send a message to these three users, user 1, user 2, user 3. And the message you want to send to user 1 is hello. The message you want to send to user 2 is I am here. And the message you want to send to user 3 is I'm fine. These are different. I mean, for a short while, these are different messages they want to send. This person wants to send. And he wants to make sure that this message is secured by encryption. So he decided to have an algorithm. And the algorithm he wants to use is here, that all lowercase alphabets. So he's going to be using this algorithm, all lowercase alphabets and a space. So anywhere you see space, let the space be this ampersand. This is an ampersand sign, right? Symbol, right? What I think is it. It should. So the algorithm this person wants to use is lowercase alphabet A to Z. And anywhere you have a space, let the space be represented with an ampersand. Now, for message number 1, he decided to encrypt the message hello. He wants to use the key that you want to use for all the messages, what we call a shift4, a shift alphabet 4, meaning for which alphabet that you see, shift that alphabet 4 times in there for you to get whatever you want. Wait, where's my board? Why am I talking too much? Let me grab my board. Let me plug this. So we can run through this basic algorithm. Just so you understand how, because when we do the main algorithms, I won't be telling you what is happening inside the algorithm. I did not design the algorithm, but that is how the algorithm works. Let me shift to my whiteboard and then why is it running faster than its shadow? Yeah, right here. Okay, let me shift my whiteboard right here. I think I know why it's doing this, but let me see. Where is my whiteboard? Share. Go to document, share whiteboard. Opening a whiteboard will stop the screen share. That's okay. So I'm waiting for my whiteboard to load. New. Classic. Let's use the classic whiteboard. Okay, y'all can see my board, right? Please respond though.
Yes, we can see.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's run through this basic algorithm. Now I have this user, I would say main user right here. This board, no, they do this thing, no. I have this main user who wants to send a message to 3 people. This is user 1 right here. This is user 2 right here, and this is user 3. He wants to send a message to all these users. And for user 1, the message he wants to send is hello. That's the data he wants to send to user 1. For user 2, he wants to send, let me say, I'm here. I want to make it short so that we can scramble it faster. Then we have user 3. The message he wants to send here is I'm fine. And this main user have decided that for me to encrypt these messages, I want to come up with an algorithm and a key. So the algorithm he chose to use is all lowercase alphabets, which is, let me write it down here. Not capital A, small letter A. So here I have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Okay, so this is the algorithm he wants to use. And then in this algorithm, he also knows I'm going to use a key so in this algorithm, wherever you see space as well, let space be represented by an ampersand. And then the key he wants to use, because you need the key and your algorithm. So the key you want to use shift 4 to send this message. So what this means is that, what this shift 4 means is that I'm going to be working with the key and my algorithm to scramble this word. Meaning anywhere I see an alphabet, I'm going to move that alphabet 4 times, or count it 4 forward for me to get the next word that I want to use to scramble it. This means anywhere I have, okay, let's just scramble this first one. Maybe that will make a lot of sense when we scramble this first one. So for us to scramble hello, we'll start by H. So H is right here. I'm going to count 4 times forward, and then let the next alphabet becomes the first letter here. So if I have H, this is my H. If I count 4 times from here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it means anywhere I see H will become L instead of H. So if I'm scrambling hello with this algorithm, it's gonna be H will change from H to L, small letter L. Then E, count 4 times into E, shift it 4 times. This is E. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is I, this small letter I. So anywhere I have E, it becomes I. So this will be I. The next one is L. This is L right here. So if I move this 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, L becomes P. So this is P. This is another L, which also becomes P. Then O becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, O become S. So I have scrambled hello into a word that nobody knows. So this means lips. Anywhere you have hello right now, you turn it to a lips. So the message this main user will send to the user 1 will be lips. That's what he will send to user 1 instead of sending hello. So hello is the plain text. Lips is the scrambled word. If this guy send user 1 lips, user 1 will be like, what do you mean by lips? What is that? I don't know what it is. So until this guy tell him, okay, this is a scrambled word, I'm going to give you the algorithm for you to be able to decode whatever this is. So he was going to give user 1 the algorithm and the key that he has used to scramble this. And user 1 will do a reverse engineering of whatever the main user have done in order to arrive at the original message. So if user 1 receive this and want to decode it, of course, this guy will need to send this algorithm and the key to this user for the user to be able to decrypt this message. So let me say the main user have sent the message, the algorithm, and the key to the user 1. And then user 1 will, and then it told the user 1, this is how I encrypted it. So do a reverse engineering of this for you to decrypt whatever is here. So this guy, they're going to use the same, it has to be the same algorithm that was used to encrypt it. If you don't use the same algorithm, you're not going to be able to decrypt it. So he's going to use the same algorithm that this guy has here to come and decrypt it, doing a reverse process. So when this user 1 receive the message, user 1 will receive lips. This is what he will receive. So if you want to decode the message, he will start again. Okay, I have an L, and this guy said this is the algorithm he used, and he used a shift 4. When encrypting it, he was moving forward. So that means I need to move backward because it's a reverse engineering that I'm doing. So for L, this is L, I'm going to move L 4 times back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will get H. For E, I'm going to move, for I, I'm going to move I 4 times back. 1, 2, 3, 4, I get E. For P, I'm going to move 4 times back. 1, 2, 3, 4, I get H. This is also an H. Then I have S. For S, I need to move 4 times back. 1, 2, 3, 4, I get an hello. So this guy will be able to decode that lips actually means hello. That's the message he was trying to send me. So the same process is what is going to use to encrypt the same message he will send to user number 2. User number 2, message he wants to send to user number 2 is I'm fine. So let's encrypt I'm fine and see what we get. So if I have I'm fine, oh sorry, I'm here. So if I encrypt I'm here, let's use the same algorithm and the same key to encrypt this guy. So A, move A four times. 1, 2, 3, 4 becomes E. I have M. Move M 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have Q. Then I have a space. The algorithm says if I see a space, let it be an ampersand. Then I have H. Move H 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 is an L. E. Move E 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. I get I. R. Sorry, guys. Not now, guys. I don't have time for call. So where did we stop? We stopped at we did what? Which one we did like
R.
last?
We are on R.
We're on R. So
Yeah.
R, if I move R 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's give me a V. Then E, we arrived E before as E, which is the same thing as, yeah, sorry, E, we arrive as, sorry, what did I write? Let me delete that. Let's just scramble it because I've forgotten what we arrived. For E, move it 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, we got an I. So I've scrambled I'm fine into whatever this is that I can pronounce. So when the main person is sending the message, he's going to send EQ ampersand LIVI to user 2. So this is what you will send to user 2. User 2 will use the same algorithm and the key to be able to decrypt it when they receive the message. So if you want to decrypt that using the reverse process, LIVI, let's decrypt that. E, move E 4 times back. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got A. Q, move it 4 times back. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got M. Ampersand says is a space, so we'll make a space. L, move it 4 times back. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got a H. This I, move it 4 times back. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got an E. Then V 4 times back. 1, 2, 3, 4 is an R. And then I is already an E. So we scrambled it back to I am here. Now let's scramble number 3. Number 3 said I'm fine. So if we scramble I'm fine, starting from A, move A 4 times forward, we'll have E from what I'm seeing here. Then M will also have an Q, and there's a space right there. So we start from F. F, move it 4 times forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got J. I, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have an M. N, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have an R. And E, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got an I. So we scrambled I'm fine to whatever this pronunciation is that I don't want to, I'm not even going to try. So this is how we scrambled it. If we decrypt this, EQ ampersand JMRI. Move it E back forward, I get A, I have M, make a space, then J backward, 1, 2, 3, 4 is F. M backward, 1, 2, 3, 4 is I. R backward, 1, 2, 3, 4 is an N. And I, 1, 2, 3, 4 is an E. So this is how these guys will scramble, encrypt the message, and then decrypt it using the same algorithm and the same key. So you see, for encryption to happen, you need to have the same algorithm, you need to have the same key that was used to encrypt it. It is a reverse engineering that needs to be using with the same distance or the same whatever it is that you have. Now, there is a big problem in this kind of encryption. There's a big problem in cybersecurity or in security in general because we are trying to make sure that the message is for only authorized users. So if I have leaks, this guy will be able, I want to make sure that it's only user 1 is able to decrypt this message. I want to make sure it's only user 2 is able to decrypt this message, and I want to make sure only user 3 is able to decrypt this message. But then there is a loophole in this kind of setting. Can you guys spot a loophole here, considering security in mind? What loophole can you think about here?
What I'm saying is you are giving everybody the same key and the same algorithm.
You are giving everybody the same key. So if user 2 or user 1 dare get this message, even if it's encrypted, and it knows that you use the same key to encrypt it, it can easily decrypt the message by itself.
Yes.
Because all of them are using the same key. So if for some reason the key leaks, or the encrypted message leaks, not the key, because user 1 already has the key, you sent it to user 1 to decrypt its own message. If any paraventure message, the encrypted message for user 2 and user 3 leaks, user 1 will be able to decrypt the message because you are using the same algorithm, you are using the same key for everybody. You are using the same key for everybody. So that is a security concern over here. Please ask your question before we move into how this problem is solved.
Yeah, I have a question here.
Go ahead.
So basically, the only difference that we might make sure that we do is gonna be the key, because the encryption method can be the same.
That is one of the problems, but there's also another problem here. Remember,
Okay.
the aim is to make sure that only authorized users receive
Yes.
it. So
Mhm.
the using of one key is one problem, because if any of them gets the encrypted message, they will be able to decrypt the message. But there's another problem in this scenario. Can somebody figure out another problem here? I know that we are doing it on the screen here. So this the main user will encrypt the message. The main user encrypt the message. The user will send the encrypted message, the algorithm, and the key to the users. Each of them, you will send each of them to the user. As long as they have it, they will be able to decrypt the message. But there is a problem in that scenario. Anybody able to figure out what that problem is? We have identified one problem, which is using the same key for everybody. But there's another problem here. Anybody able to figure out what that problem is?
Hello? Hello?
I
Is
can
it the
hear you.
signature?
I was thinking there's supposed to be a firewall after the encryption.
Let's not talk about firewall. Don't go there. Let's not talk about firewall.
Okay.
I think what I think here is
Mm-hmm.
the person that is sending to the user, like for instance, the main person sending to the user, there should be a signature between the both of them, right? Like,
So this is for, remember, signature comes in when you're trying to do non-repudiation, when you're trying to prove authenticity. Here we're focusing here on confidentiality, and for confidentiality, signature doesn't come in here. So signature is not the problem here. The next
okay.
problem here is not signature.
I think it has to do with the key, using the same key to decrypt.
We already identified that as one problem. That's one problem we identify, using the same key. But there's another problem here. Okay, to save us time. Now, remember, for user 1 to decrypt this message, they need to have this algorithm. They need to have the key, and they need to have the encrypted file. And in the real world, both of you will not be in the same geographical space. So the question, how do I send all this data to the user without activating a man-in-the-middle attack right here? Because if there is a man in the middle here where the message is being sent, they can easily gather this, they can easily spoof this algorithm, spoof the message, and spoof the key, and then they will be able to decrypt the entire message. So how do we protect against man in the middle right here, so that they are not able to get the message, or even if they get the message, let it be a scrambled message. Because when you send this to the user, the only thing that is scrambled here is the message inside itself. The key is not scrambled. The algorithm ain't scrambled. So, and all they need to open this file is to get the key and also get the algorithm. So how will they be able to do that securely without activating a man in the middle or on-part attack right here? That is another security concern.
Hashing.
No, hashing is for integrity. We don't do hashing right here.
I think it's to have a private key.
There should be a level of authentication or transition between
So,
the.
okay, now let's keep these two problems in mind. Let's keep these two problems in mind. The problem is what? The problem of using the same key and the problem of having a way to move this data securely over to the user. But let's go ahead and solve the problem of the same key before we get to the problem of using on how we send this data. So now let's say we use different key to send this message. Now we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to wipe this board. How do I wipe this board? Okay, delete everything. Now let's recreate this entire scenario and fix the problem of using the same key. So I have the main user right here. The main user is still here trying to send a message to 3 people. You have user 1, you have user 2, you have user 3. And then the algorithm still remains the same. The algorithm is all small caps. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Sorry, that's the only way I can remember it. I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And then space, anywhere you see space becomes an ampersand. Now the message we're trying to send here, we're trying to send the same message. User 1, I want, go ahead.
Can you change the space for each user?
You can do that. It all depends on what you can change it for each user. You are going to send those algorithms. You can change it for anything, but I'm going to keep it the same because I don't want to make it complex right here. What I'm going to change is the keys. What I'm going to change for each user. So I have, this is for user 2. This is user 3. User 3, we are sending I'm fine. So here, what we are going to do is for user 1, we are going to use a key of shift. Let me say shift 5. For user 2, we are going to use a key of, let me say shift 10. And then for user 3, we're going to use maybe a key of shift 12 to encrypt their messages. So now we are using different keys to encrypt each of this message. Let's go ahead and scramble the message for user 1. So if I'm going to scramble hello with this new key, with a shift 5, let's start H, move it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get an M. For E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get a J. For this is a J. For L, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a Q. So these are 2 Qs. Then for O, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a T. Let's scramble the next message. I'm fine. I'm fine. Sorry, I'm here. I'm here. We are scrambling with a key shift of 10. So for A, we move it 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Which is a K. M is right here 10 times, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. W. Then I have a space is ampersand. Then I have H. Move H 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. R. E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and O. And then R, 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a B. And then E, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, so we scrambled them here. Let's scramble the last one, which is I'm fine. A, we are using a shift of 15 for this. Sure, a shift of 12. So A, we're going to shift A by 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is an M. For M, 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a Y. A space is an ampersand. Then we have F, maybe 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is an R. Then I have an I. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is a U. I have an N. Yeah, N. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is a Z. Then I have E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a Q. So we've scrambled each of these messages using their own individual key. So when we send message to user 1, you're going to be sending MJQQT. You send a message to user 2, you're sending KW ampersand ROBO. You send to user 3, you're sending MY ampersand RUZQ. So you send each of the message to each of these users. When they do a reverse engineering on each of them, they will be able to arrive at the original problem right here. Let's try to decrypt. I'm not going to decrypt all of them, but let's decrypt the last one. Or let's decrypt the second one. So we are going to decrypt WQ ampersand RBOR. And the key that will be sent to the user is key of shift 10. So we are going to move this backward 10 times, do a reverse engineering on it for us to arrive at the original problem. So let's start with K. K is right here. We are moving it 10 times back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is an A. And W, move it 10 times back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is an M. Ampersand is a space. R is right here. We move R backward 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A H. Then we have O. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. E. We have R. B. Move B backward 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is an R. Then O, move O backward 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is an E. So we arrive back at I'm here. So when you send a message to each of the user, now you are sending the algorithm and its own individual key and the encrypted message. So this way, even if user 1 captures user 2's message, there's no way they will be able to decrypt it because they don't know the key that was used. Even though the algorithm may be the same, but the key is different. It's only when they get the key that they will be able to decrypt the message meant for another person. So this is how we solve the problem of using the same key to make sure that only the users are able to, or the authorized users will be able to have access to this. But we have not solved the main problem of man-in-the-middle attack or on-path attack if somebody gets this message. Because irrespective of the key that you get, when an attacker sits right here or sit down here and monitoring this traffic in the wire, if they are able to capture any of them, the message will contain the algorithm, the encrypted message, and the key. So they will still be able to decrypt the entire message. So the next thing we'll do is, how do we solve the problem that will emanate when an attacker receives the message in order to read this message? Ask your question before we continue. Ask your questions, please.
Hello, ma, please. I have a question.
Go ahead.
This there's one that we used, the one we use shift 12, and that ended at Z. What if there's user 3? The message to user 3 was "I'm fine," and the key is shift 12. What if it is something like 14 or 15 and it exceeds that Z? That Z. What do you do at the end?
The same thing. I try to include it. That's the same thing I did here for R. So when you count it and you see there, you go back and continue counting from A all the way. That is how you count it. That's the same thing I did for R. For instance, R here, using a shift 10. So this is R. We need to move it 10 times forward, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you go back to A, 9, 10. So you continue counting like that.
Okay.
Hello, ma.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Okay.
Hello, ma.
Go ahead.
Please, ma, can these procedures be predicted by an attacker that, okay, let me use this procedure, maybe I can decrypt this file that is being sent?
So this is a basic algorithm. Nobody uses this in production environments.
Okay.
And this is just telling you how the algorithm works, being encrypted and then doing a reverse engineering to decrypt it. Nobody uses this in a production environment, please. I'm just trying to make you understand how the algorithm works. By the time we start doing a real encryption and decryption, this is the same process that happens. Okay. So nobody uses this method. This is called the Caesar cipher. Nobody uses a Caesar cipher in a production environment because the algorithm is so small, so it can easily be predicted, of course. Right. But if you're using a real algorithm, a real encryption algorithm that generates a very long key, real algorithm generates up to 4,096 characters of key. Good luck predicting that. So this is just a little explanation of how encryption and decryption happens. It's the same process that happens when we use a real encryption and decryption algorithm. That is something that happened. I'm just letting you understand how the entire thing is done behind the scene. But nobody uses this process in a production environment, not even me. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Somebody's asking me, what if is a numerical number included in the test? Like I said, nobody uses this. This is just a simple way of showing how the algorithm works. If your message includes a number, then you need to include that in your algorithm, what your number represents. Maybe you can use a character to represent your numbers or something that you want to use in your encryption, but nobody uses this in a production environment. Any other question from those on Zoom? Question before I continue. I'm trying to answer some questions on TikTok, but I may not be able to finish all their questions because some of them are drawing me back to our first class. So I can't be going back to our first class. Okay, no other question on Zoom. I'll go ahead. All right, let me.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So if I want to summarize on my side here, we need two things for now. I know you will add something else later on, but now we need two things, which is the encryption
algorithm,
algorithm, sorry, and the password.
The key.
The key, sorry. Yeah.
You need the encryption. That is for somebody to be able to decrypt the message. You need the algorithm, you need the key, and then you can send them the encrypted data. They will now decrypt it back to the original plain text.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, so let's proceed. I'm going to go back to my slide. I'm going to stop sharing and go back to my slide. Screen number, what screen is this? Screen number 2. All right. So this is a rundown of what we just did. The Caesar cipher right here. We did both using the same key and using different keys. And sorry. And you see, it's the same process that I showed there. So each user received the ciphertext, algorithm, and the key to decrypt and encrypt message. So this kind of encryption of both the encryption and the decryption is done with the same key is what we call a symmetric encryption. So each of the users have their own key, but for the fact that both the encryption and decryption are done using the same key, we call this type of encryption a symmetric encryption, where they use the key is known as a pre-shared key, where they use the pre-shared key to do both the encryption and the decryption, but the key is the same. Somebody want to ask question? If no question, please can you mute? Thank you. So keep in mind.
Excuse me. I
Go
just want to
ahead.
before we go ahead. So the key is already pre-shared, like the method that's gonna have the key is gonna be before. I was just wondering how the key has been sent to the
Yeah,
other
that's it.
guy.
So you're gonna send the key to the receiver, right? Either
Okay.
before the message, before the encrypted message, or with the message. How you want to send it to the user, that's your problem. But
Okay.
both of you need to have the same key for you to be able to encrypt and decrypt. So this process is known as the symmetric encryption, where we use
Yeah.
the same key for both encryption and decryption.
Okay. All right.
You may have sent the key before the message, because maybe both of you have been encrypting message before, so you already have the keys. So anytime you send the person a message, they already know that you used this key to encrypt the message. So they will always use the same key to decrypt your message, because they know that is the key they receive from you for all your message encryptions.
Okay. Thank you.
Question before we proceed. All right, so now let's go and see how. Go ahead.
Please, what if it is different keys? What name do you call it again?
We'll get to a different key scenario. Let's concentrate on the same key scenario.
All right.
All right. So now let's see how we solve the problem of the man-in-the-middle attack, how we send this message across. This is what we will call the public key infrastructure. So let's talk about the PKIs, one of my favorite topics in cybersecurity. All right, so when we talk about PKI, some people will say is a framework, some people will say is a policy, some people will say is a technology, someone says the solution, whichever one works for you. This is the way that we create and manage encryption keys and digital certificates. So industries have their own, they may have internal PKIs. This guy should float away now. Wait, let me float away this. Okay, all right. So organizations may have their own internal PKI. They may be using an external or commercial PKI, but whichever one, know that PKI is a solution, is a policy, is a framework, is a technology, whichever one works for you. It's just a way that we manage and create encryption keys and digital certificates, as we including digital signatures and all that. So it is a full framework that's that you use to manage keys, in fact. So let's talk about that. So this is where it introduces the concept of asymmetric encryption. Asymmetric encryption is where we have two different keys for encryption and decryption. So in symmetric, we are only using one key to do our encryption and decryption. But when you implement public key infrastructure, you have a leverage, or you have an opportunity to use two keys, one for encryption and one for decryption. That way you don't have to worry about man-in-the-middle attack. When you use asymmetric encryption, you have option of using two different keys for your encryption. That way, you have no reason to worry about how you're going to send that key to the user for them to use to decrypt your message. And these keys are what we call the private key and the public key. So when you deploy a PKI in your environment, you're going to get a private key, you are going to get a public key. Just like the name is, private key, private, only for you, not for anybody else. Public, anybody can have it. So that's one thing I love about PKI. The names are just as simple as they appear or as they sound. Private key, personal to you, not for anybody. Public key, anybody can have it. So what is the implementation of this? The private key and the public key are mathematically related because the public key is generated out of the private key. So they are mathematically related. It has to be a key that generates from each other. It has to be a public key that was generated from the private key. So they are mathematically related. It has to be the same pair of key. Then the public key encrypts data and verifies signatures. If you deploy a digital signature in your environment, you are going to be encrypting the signature with your private key and decrypt it with a public key. But if you are doing for confidentiality, the public key encrypts the data and the private key decrypts the data. So it all depends on where you are using these keys. Are you using it for confidentiality, or are you using it for digital certificate for authentication, for authenticity and non-repudiation? So that decides which key encrypts and which key decrypts. If it is for confidentiality, public key encrypts and the private key decrypts. If it is for non-repudiation, which is for signature signing, the private key encrypts, the public key decrypts. So that's why we say public key encrypts data and verifies signatures, because that's what would decrypt the signature. But private key would decrypt the data and create the signature. Private key is confidential to you. It's meant for you and you alone. Nobody needs to have access to your private key. If wherever you store it, it should be in the place where you store something that is dear to you. Nobody ever should have access to your private key, but your public key can roam around the street anyhow it wants. Nobody cares. The public key can be anywhere it wants, because if it encrypts, whatever that key encrypts, the only thing that would decrypt it is the corresponding private key. If it's not that corresponding private key, nothing is decrypting that data. If you sign a signature with a private key, the only thing that will verify that signature is the corresponding public key. Nothing else will be able to verify that signature. So that is why your private key has to be private to you. Nobody should ever have access to it. It is meant for you and you alone. I know why I'm hammering on this. So private key for you alone, nobody else. Public key, anybody can have it. Nobody cares. All right, now let's look at these two things. Let's look at the difference between the symmetric encryption and the asymmetric encryption. Remember, symmetric encryption uses a pre-shared key. It's a key one key for both encryption and decryption. But in asymmetric encryption, we have two different keys that are mathematically related. Then symmetric encryption is faster because we are using the same key to do everything. Once you generate the key, that's it. But if you're using asymmetric encryption, it is slower because there's a lot of mathematical computation that goes into it. But even with that, it provides more security than symmetric encryption. Then symmetric encryption are good for large data. If you're encrypting large data, you can use symmetric encryption. Asymmetric encryption has a limit to the amount of data it can encrypt because a public key cannot encrypt a data that is bigger than its key size. So if you want to encrypt a data that is bigger than the size of your public key, the encryption will fail. So that is why it's only good for small amounts of data. Symmetric key is good for data at rest. We talked about data at rest, data in use, and data in transit in our first class. When data is at rest, means a data that is in your hard disk, data that is in your backup, you can use asymmetric to encrypt those data and keep them safe. Asymmetric is good for data in transit and data in use. Data that is in your RAM or data that are in transit in the wire, like a TLS or SSL. So you can use asymmetric to encrypt those data, which is what we have today in production environments. Asymmetric encryption is susceptible to on-path attack. We already mentioned that. That is the man-in-the-middle attack. So symmetric encryption, because you're using a pre-shared key, it is susceptible to an on-path attack. But asymmetric encryption provides you more security because it uses that private key that only you knows. And that private key is never shared. So that is why it provides more security than symmetric encryption. Then there are different, like I said, symmetric encryption will offer you confidentiality. You can use it for only confidentiality. But asymmetric encryption, you can use it for confidentiality, authenticity, and for non-repudiation. But for symmetric encryption, it's only for confidentiality. You can only use it to encrypt data and protect it from unauthorized access. Asymmetric encryption, you can use it for confidentiality. You can use it for authenticity when you generate digital signatures, and you can use it for non-repudiation to verify that the user actually signed that data. Then the algorithms are different. If you want to use symmetric encryption, you can use AES, which is what's the meaning of AES again? Advanced Encryption Standard. Then you have this. What's the meaning of this again? Something encryption standard. I've forgotten that detail. Then you have Tek-Trybe, just that we are used to the acronyms. Then we have the asymmetric encryption. We have RSA, we have ECC, and we have the Delphi-Hellman. These are different algorithms that you can use to encrypt data. So when you specify AES, it means you're generating a pre-shared key. When you use a DES or 3DES, you are generating a pre-shared key, or use a Tek-Trybe, generating a pre-shared key. If you want to do a symmetric encryption, you're going to be using mostly RSA. Most people use ECC, but ECC is not public, and not all devices support ECC, but RSA is widely accepted and widely supported by most devices. Delphi-Hellman is also there. I've never used Delphi-Hellman for encrypting data at rest, but you use it to encrypt more of data in transit when you do IPsec, which is IP security. But these are different algorithms you can use. We are going to be using them more. We are going to be using for AES, for asymmetric encryption, we're going to be using RSA more. For symmetric, we're going to be using AES because these are more advanced and more modern algorithms. DES is there, but DES is gradually getting deprecated. The same thing with ECC. So RSA is more accepted in today's world and modern usage. From what I've observed from customers and production environment, they use RSA a lot. And also for symmetric encryption, they use AES a lot. So we're going to be using AES and RSA in the lab environment. So please ask your question before we move forward.
Yeah. So can I go on? Yeah, the RSA. Yeah. So is it similar to the protocol that we use to do the SSH?
SSH for secure shell, probably yes. Yep. Because SSH also uses asymmetric. You need to have a public key. Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay.
Question. Okay, so let's take it there's no question. So is it that I am explaining it very well that I don't have a question,
The question.
or that? Go ahead.
What about when you want to connect your laptop to your WhatsApp to your phone? There's a key that pops out. What kind of encryption is that?
Huh?
Like whenever you want to connect your phone to your WhatsApp on system, is it that you scan the barcode or you generate a key for you to access it before you can get connected? I'm just asking, is that part of the keys?
I will say that key is more like authentication key. So to confirm that it's the same person that owns the account on your phone is also the same account they're trying to, because they will remember that when you sign up for WhatsApp, use a phone number to sign up. But on
Yes.
laptop version, you don't have that option. So they believe you must have been using the mobile version that you want to extend to your computer. So they want to make sure that it's the same account that is on your computer is what they're trying to move, that's on your phone, that are trying to move over to your computer. So it's more like an authentication issue.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions before we proceed? Silent is consent. Okay, let's get to the juicy part. Now, we're going to do a lot of encryption, not a lot, but we're going to show how these encryptions are done in a production environment for most organizations. 80% of time, encryption and decryption will be done through applications, right? So they will write applications that, like a Python application or a JavaScript application that includes these encryption processes. But I've seen many organizations that also relies on OpenSSL for their PKI activities as well. So OpenSSL is a utility that we use on computers, installed on computers, to help you with cryptographic activities like creating signatures, encryption, creating a pre-shared key, creating a private and public key, creating certificates, and all that. So OpenSSL is a utility that you can install and use it to perform your cryptographic activities. Like I said, organizations will rely on embedding these processes in an application so that they are automatically done. Or they may have their own internal HSM, which is a hardware security module, where they manage all of their cryptographic activities. So these are the different ways organizations can actually do cryptographic activities, either through application, embedding an application, or they can use the hardware HSM to do that, or they will rely on CLI utilities like OpenSSL to do the same work. I've worked with customers a lot that have issue with certificate. Maybe the certificate they generated was corrupt or something, and they have to generate another one right there. And you will see them utilizing this OpenSSL to generate the certificates that they used in production environment. So this utility also works on a production environment. It's not just for lab. Organizations use this OpenSSL utility for most of their cryptographic activities. So we are going to be running through some of them, how you can create symmetric pre-shared key, do your encryption, do your decryption, create your public key, your private key, do your digital signature. So we're going to be running through all those in a high level, and we're going to be creating each of these signatures and encryption keys right here. So for symmetric encryption, using OpenSSL, the first thing you do is you need to have a file or a data that you're trying to protect. So you need to have a data You shouldn't, sorry, my mind is everywhere. Let me try to collect my ideas together. Okay, I think I got it. So you first of all have a data you're trying to protect. That is the first thing you need to do. Have a file or a data you're trying to protect. Then for symmetric encryption, because it uses one key, you need to generate that pre-shared key. You generate that key, and then you have it handy to be sent to the next person that will be decrypting your message. And then you encrypt the file with the pre-shared key that you generated. Once you encrypt it, you can now send the encrypted file, the pre-shared key, and the algorithm to the receiver so that they will be able to decrypt the message that you go. So we'll go through these processes right here. Get your CLI ready if you already installed OpenSSL. That is why I gave out that guidance on how you can install that. So today you'll be ready to run these commands on your own. So we'll start with creating the pre-shared key. I want to believe you already have the file you want to encrypt. So for here, we'll start with creating the pre-shared key. First of all, the key you create, you need to specify the size of the key that you want to create, usually in factors of 2 from 128 and above. That's how you create the key. So if you want to create a key of 128 bits, which is 16 bytes, we have a command for that, and it's going to be an AES using the AES algorithm. And your key size is going to be 128 bits. So you have this command right here, OpenSSL random HX.
Please, my network breached, so I didn't get the last thing you said before coming to this very slide. Please.
The last thing we talked about was just the process, how the steps that we're going to take. So we're going to create the file that we want to encrypt. We are going to generate a pre-shared key. We are going to encrypt the file with a pre-shared key, and then send the encrypted file, the pre-shared key, and the algorithm to the user so that they will be able to decrypt whatever we have encrypted. So that's what we came here on how you can generate the key. I have a screenshot of here generating the key right here. So you have two options. You can generate the key. You can generate a hexadecimal key, or you can generate a base 64 key. The difference is when you generate a base 64 key, it includes numbers, alphabets, and special characters. But if you generate a hexadecimal key, it's just hexadecimal values, alphanumeric. That's what it's going to be. So depending on the kind of key you want to generate. For here, you have this OpenSSL RAND. Decide the kind of key. Are you generating a hexadecimal key or generating a base 64 key? Then the length of the key. Here, please mute. The length of the key is going to be 16. And then you give the key a name. You give your key a name. Please mute if you're not talking. You give the key a name. Here, this is keyname.pem. Pem is, what's the meaning of pem again? Portable, no, it's not portable. I forgot the meaning of PEM. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna remember something media. I've forgotten the name, but PEM is a format for a key. You can use the word key as well for that if you want, but mostly you will see people use PEM because that is the known format for keys. So here is keyname.pem. If you want to generate a hexadecimal key, or you can generate a base 64 key. Like I said, the difference is if you generate hexadecimal key, it's going to be alphanumeric. If you generate a base 64, it's going to include not just alphanumeric, but some special characters in them. So this is for 128 size key, which is 16 bits. This is for 192. The commands are the same. The difference is just the key length. So for 192 key length, you're going to be doing 24 bytes. For 256, which is the highest and more preferred, you're going to be doing 32 right here. So we have where rand means you're generating a random number. Then hex is for hexadecimal. Then keyname.pem is the name where the key will be saved. So if you run this command, you're going to generate a key named keyname.pem, and this will be the value of the key. The commands I have here, or the screenshots here, I only generated the key and displayed it on the page, so I did not save it to a file. But you want to save it to a file so that you'll be able to send it to another user to be able to use and decrypt or encrypt a message, right? The example I have here, it wasn't saved to a file, but we're going to generate a one right now that will save to a file. Let me call up my CLI. Let me call up my CLI right here. Okay, I'm just gonna go straight into my folder where I have my data. So here is where I have my data. Let me just delete these old keys. I only have one file here. This is the data I want to be encrypting. The name is plain. So I want to cd into this directory direct from my CLI, into this folder. All right, so that came up. Let me bring it here. You want to ask question? Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Before you run this, you already have a data.
Yeah, the data you want to protect, the data you're trying to encrypt. Okay. So you're going to have a data you're trying to protect. Me, I've created a text file. It can be a text file. You can call it anything you want. And have any data inside it. But let it be a file that you want. I'm going to show you the content of that file here. So you see that the file is readable file, is in plain text. We can read the content of the file. And then we're going to view it after we also encrypt the file. Let me unplug my board. I don't need the board anymore right now. All right, so here I'm in this folder. I've just seen inside my folder where I have my data. Remember how, if you know how command prompt runs, CLI, you need to either be in the directory where your data is, or you know the path, so that you'll be including the path when you run the command. Me, I've seed in directly into my directory. So I have my data in the encryption folder. But first of all, let me verify I have OpenSSL installed, which I told you guys to do. OpenSSL version. So here I have OpenSSL running on my computer. I have OpenSSL 3.6.1 running on my computer right here. If I do just OpenSSL, can you mute? Okay, sorry, are you trying to talk?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Okay, when you finish this, please help us start again from how you logged into your data directly. I'm sorry.
Okay, let me run this command first. So when you do OpenSSL, it will show you some of the ciphers that are available and the beginning of the commands. Here you see, let me go down to the ciphers. Here you see we have SHA-256, SHA-3512. These are all for digest and hashing on all this one. But for encryption, we have here, you have AES 128. You have ARIA. I don't think anybody uses ARIA these days. Like I said, we're going to be using AES a lot. Then you have DES. DES are right here. You have also 3 DES somewhere here. There's 3. Where is DES 3? It should be somewhere there. But okay, yeah, DES 3 is right here. Then we have RC4. I think RC4 is also for asymmetric. But like I said, I'm going to focus more on RSA and AES. RSA is listed here. It's not here, but it's fine. These are the ciphers.
More up.
Up is RSAs. These are just beginning
Just
of the
pass it
commands.
again.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to know how I got into here? There are ways you can do CDs. Let me do. If you want to do it from the command prompt, let me go back to my original page. So here you see I am in my CD, I am in my local folder. Sorry, my C folder. I'm in my root folder, which is just C. But I want to go into this folder right here because that is where I have my data. If I don't cd into this folder, that means I need to type this part every time I type a command, and I don't want to be doing that. So I want to be in the same folder where my data is. So if you are on your C right here, you can just do, if you know your path, you can enter into your path directly or one after the other. Let me do one after the other, and then I will do this last one together. So if I want to go into C, you go just say cd, make a space, type the next one is users, and hit enter. So you see, it took me into the users directory. So right now, I'm no longer in my C, I'm now in my users directory, which is part of the C directory. This directory must be existing first before you try to go into them or access the data that are part of this directory. They must be existing in the first place. So this directory is already existing. So you can just cd into them one after the other. I'm now in my users. I can cd into nk directory, do cd nkeir, hit enter. So now I'm inside this folder now. You can do it one after the other like this, or you can write it all together at the same time. Now I'm right here, so I want to go into encryption, but I need to go into folder. This is a hierarchy of folders, so you need to go it hierarchy by hierarchy. So I want to go into OneDrive. Remember, window is sometimes that case sensitive, so you need to type it as they are. Let me see if this one will let me do OneDrive. Oh, so let me do, sorry, is Linux that is case sensitive. If it's Linux, like I type this small letter D, Linux is not going to accept it. It has to be capital
Linux
letter
will
D.
not allow you.
Yeah, it won't let you access it. You
Mhm.
need to be the same caps as it is. But I think Windows has a little flexibility. So now I'm right here. I'm going to cd into this guy, and I'm going to cd desktop, and then I'm going to go into encryption. I'm going to do this two at the same time. So right here, I'm in my encryption. You can do this, or you can just locate that folder. If you locate that folder where you want to be, I want to be here. This is the folder I want to be here, in my encryption folder. So I can just click on the bar right here where it shows the path. Once it's highlighted like this, as it's highlighted, go ahead and type CMD there. Type CMD there and hit enter. The CMD will open in that folder. It will give you a prompt inside that folder directly. So you don't need to come and do it one after the other right there. Enes, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That answers my question.
Okay.
So that plane in the encryption folder is kind of a text you type to yourself.
Yeah, it's a text I type myself and save it. That's the data I want. If I do dir, which is directory here, I see the files in my directory. I have the plain text right here in my directory right here. If I want to view the content, do type plain.txt. So this is the content of that text file. This is readable. This is a readable cybersecurity, blah 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 blah, and all that. So it's readable. Whatever it is, you can read it and all that. That's the content of that file right there.
It's just anything. You just put anything there so that you just.
Yeah, it's just anything. This is just any file. It can be anything you want to secure, anything you want to encrypt. So this is just, I think I copied this off from somewhere and just pasted into that file and saved it. This is not a real data, of course, but it's the same thing you would do for your real data. So I'm going to be using this plane as the data that I want to be working with.
And
that's the data I already
what about
created.
if it's PDF file?
The same thing. It doesn't matter.
Okay. And does it have to? Okay, don't worry. That means if the name is long, we have to type the exact name, whether capital or small.
Yeah, you're gonna type the exact name for you to view it here, or you can just go to the file and open it to see the content. This is me trying to verify the content of my file from the CLI. You don't have to verify from CLI. You can just do it from the GUI there. Double click and see the content. If I go to my, let me close this. I'll open this portal again. if I go to that folder, this is the same file. If I double click on it, sorry, I have two screens, so it's opening on the other screen. This is the same file that I have right there. That's the same content in that file. That's my plain.txt. All right, so let's get going with this encryption thingy. Any other question before we proceed? I'm going to minimize this, and then I'm going to bring back my, I think I closed my CMD. Let me find it again. Right here, do CMD. Okay, I'm going to bring it to the screen. You can see. All right, so here we
Hello,
are
hello,
going to start. Go ahead.
hello.
Go ahead.
Okay, what you just did now, I tried it with the PDF file that I have. So when I pressed the name of the file after the encryption tag, it directed me to where my PDF is opened. It opened my PDF file.
Yeah, here I'm just trying. I'm not trying generating any key here.
Okay,
This is just a folder where my file is.
okay.
So I'm trying to show you what is in my folder. That's just my file. I've not generated any key so far.
Okay.
If the content of this folder, I have a folder called encryption where I have the data I want to encrypt. So that folder right now, it's only that plain text that is there. Nothing else is in that folder. So if I do directory, it's just showing the contents of my folder, this is what I'm interested in. This is the file I'm going to be working on. You see, there is no other data here. These are just folders and root directories exported. This is the only data in this folder. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So let's go ahead and generate our pre-shared key.
Ma,
Go
please, I
ahead.
want to ask a question, please. From the CMD interface,
Mm-hmm.
in your system, it is showing user slash nkir. The one that
Mm-hmm.
means the command you are targeting directly that in your desktop that you should locate a file called encryption. Is that?
That is a folder. Encryption is a folder that I have on my desktop. So inside that folder called encryption, I have a file called plain.txt. Let me just show you. Because I have some private things on that folder I don't want to make public. Let me see. Here, this is my desktop. I have encryption, and then I have a plain. So it's just a folder. The encryption is a folder that I created on my desktop where I have this data. You don't have to create it. If you have anywhere you save your data, the data may be on your desktop. If the data is directly on your desktop, you can just end in your desktop. I don't want to have a cluttered desktop, so I save anything encryption inside this folder. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
All right, so let's proceed. Now let's go ahead and create a key. I'm going to be creating the strongest key, which is AES256. And I'm going to be creating a hexadecimal key. I don't want to do base 64 key. Just personal preferences. You can do base 64 if you want, but I'm going to be sticking to hexadecimal key. So the command is going to be openSSL random, which is rand, make a space, shows I'm creating hex. And then the size of the key is 32. I'm going to give the key a name. I want to give it a, let me call it, what name will I call that key now? Okay, let me just say pre-shared because it's a pre-shared key, pre-shared.pem over here. So the key is created. If I go back to that folder, do dir, you see I have a file called pre-shared.pem. And the size of the file is 66 bytes. If I view the contents of that file, type pre-shared.pem, you will see the pre-shared key. So this is my pre-shared key that was generated. This is the contents of the file called pre-shared. If I also go to that folder directly, you will see I have a new file called pre-shared that was created. So this is my pre-shared key that I've created. Now what I will do is to send this key to whoever I want to be able to decrypt my message. So they will use this key to decrypt my message. So this is our symmetric key that we just created. As long as I encrypt the data with this key, the data will be decrypted with this key if I'm doing symmetric encryption. So that is my key right here. Now let's go ahead and encrypt plain with that key. Here, this is the command to encrypt. Say use the key to encrypt. OpenSSL ENC, which shows we are doing encryption. You decide your algorithm that you're going to be using, and then the file that will be encrypted, and then the name of the encrypted file, and then you point it to the key that you are using to do your encryption. So I'm just gonna, so where we hear ENC means I'm doing encryption. AES 256, that is the algorithm that I'm using, including the key length of the algorithm I want to use to encrypt the file. Then the plain text is the original data we are trying to encrypt. Remember, this was readable. It's a plain text, so we could read this data. And then out points to the name of the ciphertext that is going to be created once we are done encrypting. Then -pass file is you pointing to the encryption key that will be used to encrypt this data. So let's go ahead and run this command and encrypt our plain.txt file. I'm gonna minimize this so I can have the command visible. All right, so here we are. I'm on the same folder where I have my data and my key. If you're not in the same folder, you need to be writing the full path for your keys and all that, which is a lot of work. So here I am in the same folder. I'm able to just reference the data directly in this folder. So now let's encrypt the data. So I'm gonna do OpenSSL ENC. My algorithm is AES, size of my encryption is 256 CBC. And then in the file I'm trying to encrypt plain.txt. And then what will be the name of the file after encryption, which is the ciphertext. I want to name it, let me name it the same thing there, free.txt. You can choose any extension you want. It doesn't have to be txt. You can use MD, you can use any kind of extension you want, but I'm going to keep it at txt. Then I point to my key, pass file, which is the pre-shared key. You need to use the same format. The name of my key was pre-shared.pem. That's it. All right, so I think we encrypted the data. Let's look at the content. So the encrypted data will be called free.txt. So let's look what we have in our folder di.r. Here, I have my encrypted data right here, free.txt. Now let's look at the content of the data and see if it's readable. Remember, plain text was readable. Let's look at the content of free, type.free.txt. All of you should start reading this data. I'll say so. Start reading this data and tell me what you're seeing.
Continue.
But I'm seeing 7 now.
This
I'm
you
seeing
can see 7. Make a sense with the 7 that you see.
My please do the 7. Do the 7.
All right, so this is the encrypted file that we've just encrypted with that key. So you see, it has been scrambled up. We can't read this. It doesn't make any sense to anybody. Somebody said they can read it in Chinese. So this is the encrypted file that we have right here. And you see, we encrypted it with the key. So what this user will do is they will send this encrypted file, the key, and the algorithm that they use, which is AES 256, they're going to send these 3 to the other side of the person, and the person will be able to decrypt the entire work. If they don't have the same key and they don't use the same algorithm, they won't be able to decrypt that file. So it has to be the same key, it has to be the same algorithm for them to decrypt that file. So let's try to decrypt this file, and we'll give it a different name when we decrypt it.
Sorry, ma. Sorry,
Go
ma.
ahead. Yeah, ask
1
questions,
minute.
please.
Yeah. What's my question again? Are you trying to say this place there's in your command there's where you use plain txt?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that plain txt is actually the name of
The original data I'm trying to
the
encrypt.
original data.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the
salam
file I already
alaikum.
created. I'm trying to encrypt. Then out free.txt is the name of the file that will be encrypted, which is the ciphertext. So plain.txt is the plain text. Free.txt is the ciphertext.
But can the ciphertext, can it be anything?
You can call it anything you want. You can call it any
Okay.
name you want. Give it any extension. You can give it .md, .enc, anything you want. You can call it anything.
Okay.
Questions, please, before we go and decrypt this file.
Yeah. So right now we are doing the symmetric encryption,
Symmetric
but
encryption, yes, this is
yeah,
symmetric
but you
encryption.
mentioned earlier that it go with 2 keys, right?
No, this is symmetric encryption, not a symmetric encryption. This is the one that uses a pre-shared key, the same key for both encryption and decryption. Does that answer your question? Okay.
See the I mean the title of the session that we are is symmetric.
Yeah, it's symmetric. We are doing symmetric, which is the one that uses the same key.
Okay.
Asymmetric, the one that uses different keys is asymmetric, uses different keys. Symmetric uses the same key.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Questions before we proceed, please. Questions.
The last the sim.pm, is
Mm-hmm.
it a default?
That's the name of the key in that command.
Okay,
But in our own, the key that we generated previously is called preshared.pem. So you're going to replace that the sim.pem with the name of the key you generated. In our case, we generated preshared.pem.
Sorry, ma, the pre-sham.pem. How do you? Sorry, I'm taking it back.
That's the first command we ran.
Okay.
It's right here when we generated the symmetric key. You got it?
Okay. Is it that feature.pem? Is it something you can create manually, right?
It's any name you want to call your key, any name.
Okay.
The only thing that needs to be the same here is OpenSSL random. Hex, you can use to do hexadecimal, you can choose to do base 64 encoding. I choose to do hexadecimal. This is the key size, which is the 256. This is a 32-bit, which is 256 key length. This is the name of the data, name of the key that I created. You can call it anything you want. This preshared.pem. On your own case, you can call it anything you want. It can be key.key, it can be nk.pm, it can be whatever you want. Me, I choose to call my own preshared, and pem is a common format for keys. You can use this or you can use .key. It will still work. You can even use .text, .txt can still work. Anything you want to call it. Does that answer your question?
Sure.
All right. Questions before we proceed, please. So far, we have encrypted the data. Go ahead.
This direct file that you type here, this C username NK one driver desktop and encryptions. If you want to go to If you want to go back from encryption to desktop, what do you type the other time?
You just do CD. If you want to go one way back, maybe I
Yes.
want to CD out of this and get to my desktop, just do CD space dot dot. It will take you one way back.
Oh, okay. Thank
If
you.
you want to go all the way to your CD, do CD forward slash or zip back. Yeah, forward slash is this, right? This is forward slash, this is backward slash. So if I want to go all the way down, do CD backward slash. It will take you all the way back. But if I let me CD back into my, because if I run any command here and those files I'm pointing to are not here, the command will start to fail. So my files are saved in the encryption folder. So that's why I have to be in the encryption folder. If your own are on the desktop, you're good. You can be running your command from your desktop. Mine is in a folder I named encryption. So I will CD back into encryption.
Okay. Thank you.
Questions, please. Ask your questions before we proceed. Do you guys know we spent 2 hours? We're going to go ahead. Maybe we finish. I'm not sure we'll finish what we have for today, but we'll continue next week, sure. But for now, let's see how far we go. Let's try to decrypt this file. Please ask your questions. Solomon, where are you lost?
Huh?
Not you,
Ma,
NS.
I am big
Solomon,
time lost. I am
tell
big
me,
time lost. So
where are you lost?
from when
Are you following the command? Are you trying to run it on your own?
I'm running the command from the way, but my own, I am getting invalid. Anything I enter invalid. Anything I enter invalid.
Are you in the folder where your file is? Are you able to create a key?
I'm not creating any key. I'm just entering that open SSL.
So you did not install
Version.
OpenSSL.
But
That's what it means. Did you install
I did.
OpenSSL?
I did. Yeah, I did, ma. Mine is OpenSSL 3.6127 Gen 2026 library.
Then maybe you're running the command wrongly.
But when I entered this command,
when you do OpenSSL version, then you should be getting the version of OpenSSL you have, which means you have it installed and working well. So the next thing is for you to type the command to generate the key. So see what you're missing. What are you missing in the command?
I'm missing everything. Apart from that OpenSSL, nothing again is on my screen.
Nothing is coming on your screen. You need to type it out by yourself. Are you typing it?
Yes, I do.
You type OpenSSL rand and you say nothing is coming up.
I typed it. What is showing me? It's showing me on unknown option.
It means your command is wrong if you are getting unknown. Is anybody else trying to follow along?
Yes, I'm following along and I'm with you, man. My question, I wanted to ask a question. Your last command, you did type space free.text and it showed you this encrypted stuff.
Which
but mine
one?
is showing this type dot.
Oh, this one.
Yes. You did type dot type space free.text.
That's the name of my file right here. That's the name of my encrypted file.
Yes, I did the same thing, but it didn't really show me anything. It just showed me a little type of crypted something.
It depends on the size of the file you're trying to encrypt. If it's a one line something, of course the entry will be small.
If it's a 1 line,
how big is the data you are encrypting?
The data I'm encrypting is the original data where your own is showing 1000,099. Mine is showing 14591.
That's a big file.
And I'm seeing 3 files, 29,002. Where your own has 3 files, mine is 29,000. So, And my free text is about 14,000 something.
That's a big file. And you say go ahead and open it go to the folder where you encrypted and open the file itself and see, is it the same content when you try to view it from the CLI? Solomon, did you add, if you're able to run your OpenSSL from the CLI and view the version, I want to believe you set your path right as the guide we provided. Did you set the path?
Yes, ma, I did.
Go ahead and run just OpenSSL. Just type OpenSSL. In your, don't include version. Run OpenSSL, hit enter. If it works fine, you should be able to see all these formats coming out on your end.
Okay, I think I'm getting.
Ernest, just a moment. Let me finish with Solomon. Go ahead. Solomon, did you type OpenSSL? What do you get? Ernest, you're up.
Okay. It displays you.
Okay.
Ma,
Ernest, talk to me, please.
So my own is,
I think.
You people, the two of you are in the same place. Kenneth
Sorry,
and Ernest.
No. I think mine summarized. It just gave me a summary of my pretext. So he didn't want. It's like it's big. He didn't want to bring everything to the CLI.
But when you view it on
Because
the file, is it showing on the file scrambled?
yes.
Then
It's
you're
showing
good.
on the file. Yeah.
You're good. Okay, Kenneth, you got a question for me?
wait, give me this.
Questions, guys, before we go ahead and decrypt this encrypted file.
Please, are you going to send the recorded version? Because I'm not getting it at all.
Which version are you talking about?
Like the
Ma,
recorded.
can I ask you something?
Guys, hold on. Don't interrupt somebody, please. Go ahead.
I mean, can we get the recorded tape of this?
I can't hear you. You're very faint. Your voice is...
Can we get the recorded record of this file, this class tonight?
Yes, I will provide the recording as usual.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Samson, you're up.
After I typed the OpenSSL and it gave me all these options on the screen, then mine is not having a splash. Mine is having, is it less than or greater than? I don't know.
What do you have? What do you mean by greater than?
This thing in front of this encryption.
This one?
Yes.
What do you have?
It's showing, see username splash, user home PC, arrow.
Arrow. I don't understand what you mean.
How will I locate my file? I have a text file on the desktop already.
If you are on your desktop, then you don't need to go into encryption. Encryption is my own folder. You're going to end in desktop if your file is on the desktop.
Okay.
Encryption is my folder. That's where my own file is. That's why I say you need to locate where your file is. You don't have a folder called encryption. Before you can get this part, that means you created a folder on your desktop called encryption. Me, I have a folder called encryption on my desktop. So I save my encrypted files in this folder. If your own is on your desktop, you don't need to be looking for encryption. Please end your own in desktop.
Okay.
Just go to desktop and then open it on your command prompt. If your file is on your desktop, let me see. Just a moment. Let me move one sensitive file out of my desktop. I don't trust you people. Oh man, I have a lot of files on this desktop. I don't want to show. I'm sorry, I can't show my desktop. Sorry, but if you are on the desktop, you will end over here and then go over here and hit CMD. But you need to be on your desktop folder to do that. the main thing for you is that you're not locating where your data is. You're not in the right directory where your data is. That is your main
that
problem.
directory is what is
So
confusing me.
after this description, what's the line of code you typed after this?
For what? To
After
achieve
this,
what?
after this, like what I did is there's an existing file on my system that I want to encrypt. So I CMD the file. So I don't know if you created another key, another file apart from the original file that we're encrypting. I don't know. I mean, where you got the what's the name? .pem. I don't know how you got it.
.pem is the key that's the first thing we did. We created the key, which is right here. Before I started running any command in this desktop or this folder had only plain text, which was my original file that I'm trying to encrypt.
Okay.
Then I ran this command to generate my pre-shared key. Please, if I'm not talking to you, mute, please. I'm only talking to one person. So I ran this command to generate my pre-shared key. Then this is me showing, after I ran the command, my pre-shared key is now part of this folder.
Okay.
And this command is how I view the pre-shared key content on my screen. Type pre-shared.pem. Then this is the content of that file, which is my pre-shared key.
Okay.
This one is just for me to view the key on my desktop, on my page here.
Okay.
This command is not doing anything except I'm just showing the content of that file. Then this is where we did the encryption of the file.
Okay.
Here we chose our algorithm. In is pointing to the original text we are trying to encrypt. Out is pointing to the name of the file after encryption, which is the ciphertext. Then #file is pointing to the pre-shared key. This is the key that I have, pre-shared.pem.
Okay.
And then after this, our file is encrypted. I ran the command again to view my directory. You see, I have a file called free.txt.
I want to ask a question. Now, I did what you just said now. But when I got to the new file, what you just said now, that after we've...
Your voice is fainty. Can you speak up a little, please?
Okay, can you hear me clearly now?
That's much better. Keep it at that pace.
So now what I'm stuck at is at that new file that you created. After that, can you scroll up this minus, no, come down a little bit, come down a little bit. This I minus in plain.text minus out free.text. Now I'm encrypting a PDF file, and when I got to this, after this minus in plain.text and this minus out free, I used a file text, a .txt file.
For your out file, your out file.
Yes, exactly. So exactly this line of code that you wrote, when I press enter, it didn't give out it's invalid. It's saying something is invalid. I don't know why.
Did you point to the right key?
Okay.
Because the command is not complete until you pointed it to a key.
Okay, now good. I'm having this warning depreciated key deprive. Okay.
So it's yes, if you run this command, that's okay. Ignore this error. This is error showing that we are using an old or deprecated encryption. That's okay.
Okay, fine. That's fine.
So if you get this, that means if you go and view that folder now, you will see whatever name you gave at your out file generated over there, which is the encrypted file.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen it here.
All right, any other question, guys?
Please, I would like to ask, my input file is PDF. Can I output it in text file?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Thank you.
So we are just going to decrypt this file and we end for today. Next week, we'll start from asymmetric encryption.
Sorry, my question, do you have to add a file extension in the code?
Yeah, you need to add an extension for your add file.
What of the input one?
You need to add the extension as well, the name of your file.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, how did you open the the encrypted key? Sorry, let me
just type and then name of the file.
I did it. It's giving out something else.
What is it giving out? Because it's supposed to giving you what you cannot read.
This type is giving me type. Okay.
Verify from the file itself. Go to the folder in GUI, in your interface. Go to the folder, double click on the file, open it and see if it is scrambled.
Yeah, it is the same thing. It's bringing out, when I type that, it's bringing out that alphanumeric key 29920BA. It's not bringing out this Korean key.
But is it readable?
Yes, it's readable. It's readable. Like it's just a normal combination of alphabet and numeric.
That is that's the first command you run now. That's for your pre-shared key.
Okay.
That is generating your pre-shared key. You've not actually encrypted yet. You're just generating the key. And because it's hexadecimal, it's going to be alphanumeric.
Okay. Exactly. Something like this. Exactly. It's bringing out something like this.
Yeah, that's your key. That's your pre-shared key.
Okay.
You need now use the key in encryption.
Okay. Why am I now making the mistake? It's not coming out.
What is not coming? Did you encrypt a file?
Yes, ma'am.
You need to type or cut the file you encrypted. And you cutting the file you're encrypted, you need to cut out the file, or you go to the desktop or wherever you save the file and click it and open it and see the content. If you have encrypted, what you are referring to right now is your pre-shared key. That's what you're referring to right now. So I don't know if you have run this command to actually encrypt.
I'm actually at this command now. That's why I finished typing now. So when I press enter, it brought me back to the pre-shared key.
Just a moment, guys. I need to pick this call. Just a moment. I'm gonna mute all these platforms, especially TikTok. Mama, just a moment. Just a moment. Let me mute myself, please. Where is my Zoom? Oh God. Oh, my Zoom is right here.
Pre-shared key.
Okay, sorry guys, I had to take that call. Okay. Sorry, I had to take that call. Did I stop sharing screen? I think I stopped sharing my screen. Did I stop sharing screen?
No, it was on.
My screen is still on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think this was where we are. Where is my... Yeah, we were. All right. So what was your question? Let's finish your question and then we'll decrypt this file and we'll stop here for today. Ask your question.
No, let's continue. Don't worry. I would check the record. So
you figure it out. I like that.
Yeah.
Anybody else got questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So this Open SSL, do we have the graphical user interface version of it?
I don't think so. I don't know. I usually prefer CLI. It's faster. Even if there's a GUI, why would you want to use a GUI when CLI is faster and easy to use?
No, I'm not too familiar with the Windows terminal. I'm more, flexible with the Linux. But I'll figure it out, because it's kind of a little bit new. Though I use it sometimes, but I don't use it in the work environment. So
I don't know if it has a GUI. You can see if there is, but if you're using Linux, the command should basically be the same command if you have OpenSSL already installed on Linux. Comes with OpenSSL installed. You just have to update
yeah,
it and then
all my
run
encryption, I do that in Linux like without no problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I will, as I'm going on right now, I've already, got some of the command that you used,
Mm-hmm.
like CD back and all. They are just a little bit of difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll figure it out.
It's just a
How
little
to,
difference with Linux, but the difference
yeah.
shouldn't be much.
I'm saying I have to do that. I have to just learn it. Yeah.
All right. Any other question before we proceed? Question. Okay, so let's go ahead and decrypt this file. So far, what we have is we have an encrypted file. Let me view the contents of my folder. So if it was in Linux, instead of typing dir, you can just type ls, and it will view the contents of wherever folder you
Exactly.
were in.
Yeah.
So in this folder, I have my encrypted file. This is my encrypted file. This is the original file I encrypted. This is the pre-shared key that we have. That's all we got. So now, if you're going to be sending this to somebody, you're going to be sending the encrypted file and the pre-shared key, and also the algorithm that you used, which in our case was AES256CBC. That's the algorithm we use. So the user needs to have these three things: the AES you used, the algorithm you use, the key you use, and the encrypted text. And we are assuming that we are the receiver as well. So we've received these three things. Let's go ahead and decrypt this same file. This is the command to decrypt the file. OpenSSL inc. D here shows you're decrypting the file. You specify the same algorithm. In is the encrypted file. This is the encrypted file that we're trying to decrypt. Then out will be the name of the file that you've decrypted. And then pass points the key as well. Here you point it to the key. Also, we are using the same key, so we're going to point it to preshare.pem over there. All right, let's go ahead and run that command to decrypt that file. So I have OpenSSL inc, do my -d to show I'm decrypting, and then my algorithm is AES256 CBC, and then in shows the encrypted file I'm trying to decrypt, which is free.txt. Then out shows the name. Let's call it normal. You can call it anything. Let's call it normal.txt, which will be the file that has been decrypted. And then point to my key, pass. The key name is preshared.pem. All right. Multiple cipher or unknown option, AES, these. Okay, there's a mistake here. Let's see. Did I type the name right? Preshared.pem, unknown option, AES. Hold on. dir. It's not there. So let's see what I typed wrongly here. OpenSSL inc -d AES 256CBC in free. It's pointing that multiple cipher or unknown option, and then pass pre-shared.
You didn't add the file to it.
Which file?
-pass file.
It's right there. I added it. Oh, okay. I didn't add the word file.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. The file is not there.
Yeah. So pass right here. Wow. Okay. Yep, done. So if I do dir, I'll see the text normal and see it's the same size as the original text that we had. And if I dir this, no, if I type this normal.txt, you see I got the original file back. So this
I
was
have
the
a question
encrypted
first.
file. Go ahead.
So when you were writing the normal.txt,
Mm-hmm.
do you tabulate in this Windows command?
What do you mean by tablet?
Tabulation, like to tabulate and bring the text, like what you want to write, come over to the screen without you typing everything.
I don't think I understand your question. But this is the command that I ran, and the normal.txt is the name of the file that I want to decrypt.
Yeah.
So then the next command I ran here is to view the contents of my encryption folder, which is where all my files are saved, both the created ones. So this is the one it automatically created, which is the one I specified in my command. And then this is me trying to view the contents of the file. So I'm trying to understand what you mean by a tablet.
So on your keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
okay, when you see the place that we do the I don't know how to explain that to you. So if you want to change the capital letters to the lowercase or something like that,
The caps lock.
okay, yeah,
Uh-huh.
there is a key up there.
The tab.
Yeah, tab.
Okay. Oh, you want for tab completion?
Yeah,
It doesn't work on Windows.
it doesn't work on. Okay.
No, that only works on Linux environment. It doesn't work on Windows.
All right. Okay.
So auto completion doesn't work on Windows. You have to type it out.
This thing is
I know
just
Windows
okay,
is
man.
not so good with because most of it provides 80% of its resources over the web or over GUI. So it's only few
Okay.
things that are available from CLI.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But please, can I see your command again? Sorry.
The command is right here on the screen as well on the PPT. This is the command. This is the one that ran, the one we included the file onto. So right here.
I have a problem with this command, but mine didn't run. I don't know why.
Why didn't you own? Did you have the full command?
Yes, man.
You said yes, now it's not yes.
First, CBC in free.tech. Oh, out no. Oh, okay.
Why he's figuring out his imbu. Anybody else have question? Also, what type of go on nonsense? Questions. We're gonna stop here for today. We actually have a lot left to cover. We didn't cover asymmetric, we didn't cover digital certificate, and we're supposed to introduce identity and access management. It's supposed to be today's topic. But then all this we're going to move to next week, no problem. So we
Please,
have
I would like to ask whether do you have to get a specific size of file for it to be encrypted?
no, any file can be encrypted. It doesn't have to be a specific file.
Because at first I was using a Word document. I was finding a problem with it. I was having an error. Then I changed it to PDF, but that one works fine.
It shouldn't be giving that error because you can encrypt any file, radically any file. As long as you type the correct name and extension, it should be able to encrypt it.
And also the file name, that is supposed to be just one name, because I was using two-word name with a
If there's a
space.
space in it, it will not work.
Okay, so I have to use something like underscore.
You can use an underscore for it.
Thank you very
Because Windows it's not only for Windows, Linux does the same thing. So you need to find a way to make it know that that's the entire name. I think for Linux, you can include a quote between the names so that it will recognize it. You can try if adding a quote between them will recognize them. Otherwise,
Okay.
just put an underscore between the name so that it will see it as one
See
word.
as one name. Okay, thank you
Yes.
very much.
Any other question? So like I was
But
saying,
please
go
scroll down
ahead.
to your last command while you continue.
Sir?
I said scroll down to your last command while you continue. Okay, I'm seeing where you're on.
The last command is just to view the content now. That's the last command I run here. All right, so any other question? We are stopping here for today. We are going to continue next Sunday and continue with asymmetric encryption, digital signatures, and then we introduce identity and access management, IAM fundamentals. We are supposed to cover all this for today, but you can see we have run out of time. I know it was going to be like this because encryption usually takes a lot of time, but I'm happy to extend. I'm not in a hurry. I'm very, very happy to extend the fundamentals to extra week. As long as you guys are following, that is what is important to me. And I'm going to stop recording for now if there's no other question relating to the class.
I'm sorry, ma. There's a question.
Okay.
My normal text is still encrypted.
Did you put the D? Did you put the D in your command to show that you're decrypting?
Yes, ma. I can't do that mistake. I'm very sure I put the D.
If you can share your screen, so you can see it. Well, that would be easy.
You encrypted an encrypted file.
Encrypting.
That's a double encryption.
I think that is what happened, but I'm sure I used the same command you used. I'm very sure.
Check very well. Make sure that you're putting the right files. Let it not be that you went and tried to decrypt a plain text. I don't even know how that will work.
No.
So make sure that the file you put here is the encrypted file, and then the out will be the name of the decrypted file.
Yes, ma'am.
Check again, run the command again and see, and open it also open the file directly on a text notepad to see if it's showing something different.
I opened it on a notepad and it's showing an encrypted file.
Is showing scrambled file?
Yes, ma'am.
Scrambled content?
Yes, ma'am.
I try to run the command again and check very well, please. Make sure you're pointing to the right key, especially make sure you have your D right there.
Okay.
And
You have to also make sure that what you are doing must be inside the same directory.
Yeah, it has to be in the same directory. I mean, if it's not in the same directory, it will fail because it won't locate the files.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm on the same directory and I'm on open SSL and ENC.
I don't know, but I will put the command in the CLI. I'll just copy the command and put it in the chat. So if you could copy it, and if the name of the documents are the same in your own and the key is also the same, just copy it and paste and see if it helps. Maybe you can figure out where you're typing in book. All right, any other question? Question before we round off for the day?
Battery low.
Your battery is always low.
Did you hear that?
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording for now, so we don't record
The
things
recording
that are
of
not
yesterday.
Yeah, I have it. I will upload the recording from yesterday and today's recording as well.
Okay.
I was very busy yesterday. By the time I finished having all my classes, it was very late.